We have something called x and y intercepts. So I'm going to show you what those mean. So let's say we have a graph like this, and then we have a line. So we'll call this the x-axis, and we tend to call this often the y-axis, and that's our line. And the intercepts are going to be where the line touches one of the axes. So what we have is, this over here is an intercept. And this over here is also an intercept. I'll make it bigger. That's an intercept, and that's an intercept. And we name the intercept after the axis that it touches. So this, here the line is touching the x-axis, so we call this the x-intercept. And this is the y-axis, so we call this the y-intercept. And it doesn't really matter which direction the line is going. So if the line is going, it could be going down like this. And then we would have over here a y-intercept. And over here we would have an x-intercept. And in fact, it doesn't even have to be lines. What we could have is, we could have something like this. That's poorly drawn. Not what I want to do. Better. So what we have is, in this case, we still have our, this is our y-intercept, but we have, in fact, this is an x-intercept, and this is also an x-intercept. So again, intercept is just, so remember, this is the y-axis, so the y-intercept is where it touches the y-axis, and the x-intercept is where it touches the x-axis. Now, one thing to notice about the intercepts is that they have very specific points. Well, an aspect of them at least. So let's say, for example, I haven't been putting numbers on. So let's take a look at this y-intercept over here. And if I asked you, what was the coordinates of that y-intercept? And we don't know what it is, but what we do know that for the y-intercept, the x value has to, no exceptions, this is going to be 0, because the x is 0. Now in this case, the y is negative, so maybe it's negative 11 or something. But that might be, so that would be, for example, I screwed that up. Why did I screw that up? Because I said the x is 0, but I wrote it in the wrong spot. So what I actually should have said was, the x is 0, and the x is actually 0. And then the y is negative 11. So similarly, if I had this point over here, and I say, what is the coordinates of that? And for the x-intercept, we know that the y value, it's right along there, the y is 0. I'm going to put y in the correct spot this time. And the x could be something. Now, the x, it's positive on this side, negative on this side, so it's got to be something positive. So maybe it's 7 and 0. So that might be the coordinates of the y-intercept for this line, and this might be the coordinates for the x-intercept.